Uh, cool. Hey guys. Um, Welcome to another session. Another let's find and hunt and trade session. I've been watching this one BNB from Crypto Crisp actually put it on earlier, and it swept the R3 quite nicely. All the R3s, R2, R3s. Anyway, that one didn't come up in the EAX, but I don't know if any of you were looking at it. It's in a really good position now to enter after the CISD. It was a nice manipulation. But yeah, that was besides any EAX today. I've been looking through um, the tokens today, and quite a few all-time highs, of course, being all-time high for BTC. Broccoli made a move from earlier. So I've been seeing a lot with broccoli, both broccolis and the other broccoli. So a lot of vegetables growing. Um, so I put some out already. So have a look here. Okay, I can see this one has already indicated a move. And let me just see, we've got the resistance 2 and 3 levels above. I'll actually get this 3. Let me just get data. So just quick, I don't know what these ones have done since I was busy playing around with the other one, but I think they are dropping a little. So it's looking bearish, this one reversal on the 1 hour and the 4 hour. And I haven't marked anything else out yet, but the monthly R2 and R3 are quite above it as well, but it does look like the RSI was quite high. So it's looking to pull back a little bit. And have a look at this one quickly. So this one, yeah, excuse all the lines. I actually went through quite in detail, um, just to explain a little bit more of what levels I was looking for. So I marked out the daily opposing, the 4 hour opposing, then 1 hours as price was actually dropping, and that was within the order block. So you've got the massive daily order block here that was left here from April, sometime March. And obviously price now has actually come to that point now to come claim and balance. So I took that and started marking out and tried to use it in collaboration just with the current price. At the time when I was doing it, the price was actually only around here. A bit later on, I can see. Let's see. Yeah, it was only around about here, so I actually haven't looked. So it actually came and tapped into that daily. That opposing candle over there is the daily opposing level. Then you've got the 1 hour opposing level and the 4 hour opposing level. So all three of these levels were extremely close to each other. Obviously, for utilizing that extra confluence inside of a key level. So this being the key level, it having swept the monthly R2, monthly R3, and then making a move. So this was a very good, accurate indication of where to look, that I was actually looking for the price. And like you can actually see now, the price actually came and went already. And it's actually made its move. So it was a really good mark out for a key level anticipation. So I'm finding you can see, look at these, actually, like one is just below it as well. Let's sweep. So I'm actually finding that marking out these opposing levels and looking for the resistance levels as well, the high RSI resistance levels, the massive either fair value gaps or the order blocks. I think marking out these opposing levels inside of it, when you can get a combination of the high time frames, so daily, 4 hour, and 1 hour, that are all relatively in the same place, they're actually becoming quite accurate. As you can see, that was a perfect example, and you can see now price is actually rejected off there twice, and now it's dropping. Yeah, so this just a nice example of how it looks. Of course, yeah, this is in general, you're looking for that reversal signature on the higher time frame. This was a failure to displace, so it hadn't really formed candle 3 just yet. And so this is your swing point here, candle 2. Well, this is actually your swing point because this is failure to place, so this didn't actually sweep it. So, I mean, displacement, failure to displace is still a swing signature. It's claiming a massive fair value gap. Of course, there's a lot of expansion to the upside today and yesterday already has happened. So how much it needs to retrace into this, I'm not quite sure, but there is another opposing level above it that I've actually marked out. So just to observe where the price might be in general here, of course, we would mark out another opposing candle level there if it was a break to the upside, and then you could trade to these opposing candle levels. But yeah, I think it's already made its move. It might be a bit late to try and enter. I don't know how much more it would fall to the downside. But yeah, that was a nice little example there from the reversal 12. Yeah. Okay. Let's have a look at this one. See, the price is actually doing the same. I didn't mark this one out, but if we had to have a look, let's just see if I can get a weekly going. There's no fair value gap daily. So fair value gap's been claimed. Swept your daily opposing. And you can mark out. So here's another, I'll mark this one out. Actually, here. Daily opposing. So those are two high time frame opposing levels. And within it, of course, we can have a look to see if we can find, more information. So even with a 4-hour opposing candle level, you've got the level quite close to here as well. So that's a double confirmation, or like a reversal position. But to break that to the downside, then it would continue to the downside, in my opinion. It might break and then retrace and use this as a resistance level and then break to the downside. And then you've got no fair value gaps on the 4-hour. So you've got a 1-hour fair value gap below here. Okay, so that's what I've got now. What I can do is I want to try and, sorry, I want to use this level, 1-hour opposing. Okay. So have a look at this on the low time frame. So on your daily, have a look there. It's actually bounced off that daily candle. The daily opposing level. So you can just see where the price is responding on the left, different levels that you do place. And it's on top of the fair value gap where the opposing daily level is as well. So here we go, it bounced up, did a bit of a retracement and anticipation to, if it does close below this, of course, you got another fair value gap, so 5-minute fair value gap, 15-minute fair value gap below that as well. And then here, of course, you got an opposing level. So for price to retrace here, we can see the fair value gap here. Even if it was right there. So if price had to break above this level, which more or less this white line, I'd say price break, that would then invalidate any turn to the downside. This could just be a small little retracement. Otherwise, it's a sweep. And the RSI was higher on this broccoli as well. I think it was 90%, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just trying to find the card that I posted. Here we go. So it was showing a reversal on the 1 hour, 25% movement. It was on 83. And this was quite early. I know, was this? Now it's an 81, yeah, so it's moved a little bit. Showing bearish on the divergence and reversal 4 hour and 1 hour. So if we obviously look on the 15 minutes, can show that there's the reversal signature. Here's your CISD. So the CISD at the moment is actually where your that daily level is sitting at the moment, that opposing candle level. So it's pretty cool how you can see the combination of a CISD automatically being picked up by the software, as you would if you had to mark it out on opposing candle levels as well. So I would, in this instance, this break, of course, to the downside, if you have to look on the higher time frame, this break was strong, but wasn't strong enough to break this one. I would have taken on this. Here you got another strong movement and a break, but it's actually bounced off that opposing level. So a break to the downside, yeah, would give me a little bit more confidence that it would move to the downside. Anyhow, I'll leave that there. This one was nice. Changed already. This one looks in accumulation. So I found, of course, all of these I found on, sorry, how many dogs broccoli does see here? Yeah. There's actually there's like 3 different ones, but 2 of them look very similar. So I just took the 2 of them, but yeah, just broccoli everywhere. This one looks in accumulation. So a nice, and it's right under your R3 level. So I would be very interested in having a look. So it's broken your daily R3. It's got your 4 hour fair value gap just below it. I haven't actually charted. We'll chart a little bit more just to see what this one does. With this, so you've got your monthly R2, your monthly R3 above it, but just above this one, you've got your weekly R3 as well. So, and let's have a look at the card to see exactly what. So it's saying 85 RSI, but it's showing a bullish divergence. So, like I said, that this accumulation phase would be the AMD accumulation, wait for that manipulation, and then redistribution. So here we go. You've actually got a nice setup just to brew or watch and put your marks. So what we'll do is we'll throw some marks out there just to work in some levels for ourselves, just so we can see what it is doing. So this is on a daily. Let's have a look at a weekly first. Let's see if we can get a weekly fair value gap. Does it show daily fair value gap? It's 22%. So it must be a bar. No weekly. Let's have a look. Daily. Actually, it's swept the daily. You can see. But it's also got a narrow weekly pivot there as well. Okay, so I can't see any other fair value gap on this one. Of course, we've got, can mark this one. Let's just see what this one shows us in relation to where the price might go. Now, so let's have a look on the weekly as well if we had to do that. So yeah, you actually got a closer fair value gap on the weekly. I'll make sure this is accurate. Okay, you got a weekly. The price is quite far from where we are at the moment, of course, but let's just label it anyway. Put it out there. Okay. Or should we? Oh, there we go. So price is actually broken through the resistance too. This could be utilized as a support. Let's have a look to see what price is doing. This, it's right over the hovering around that level as well. So break to the upside, definitely looking good for many reasons. One, it's bullish divergence. You've got the R3 level above it. You've got the R2 and R3 for the monthly above it. And RSI levels are quite low. So on the 1 hour. So it still shows that on the 1 hour time frame, you're looking to actually have some movement. Then of course I would have a look to see what it does at these positions here. So let's have a let's get closer. So let's mark out a 4 hour level for opposing. Right now it's actually on a 4 hour. It has actually tapped into a 4 hour opposing as well. So yeah, I've got a 4 hour opposing here as well. I'll mark it. I might just delete it afterwards because it does start getting a bit dizzy when you zooming in. It's just nice to get a bit of a broader picture. Let's have a look on a daily level if we can as well on opposing levels, and then we'll just stop there. So you got a daily level as well here. So daily level and a 4 hour opposing level, which is, like I mentioned before, is generally quite a strong signature for price to be to react in those spaces. And I just want to see, we've got a level up there. Let's have a look to see. Here's a daily level. I'm going to just throw a daily level here. It's going to be quite far from where it is right now, but getting closer to it can always work well. So this level actually looks pretty strong as well here. So it did react, and then it did respond and broke. Okay. Daily. Yeah. Cool. So what we got here is we've got a few levels just to work with. Let's have a look to see what it looks like. So yeah, it's trading within these two 4 hour candle opposing levels here. I would, so you got your daily opposing level here, 4 hour opposing, your R3 levels as well. So there's a lot of liquidity in these positions generally. So as to watch how price actually responds over these levels to see if it actually does a massive move and break to the downside. If, for instance, it breaks and then it's like stops and slows down, only at that time then would I go and I'd start marking out, for instance, to see, okay, if it's in between this area, or say if it's just above this area over here, that's when I would go back to, say if it was in this area, I'll go back and actually see if I can find some 1 hour opposing level candles here, and then actually still wait for that manipulation move to break and retrace, of course. Combining it with all the rest of the EAX data, yeah, I mean, for me, it's very helpful. They're just extra confluences. So Murbrook, I'm gonna just give a new, so RSI 75, Murbrook, 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 because I think there's a place in South Africa. Yeah. Yeah, so look, it does it does indicate RSI 75 still, so anticipation obviously for price to still be able to move a little bit more. It has swept and it's done a bit of a pullback and it swept over the R2 levels and it's actually on the opposing 4 level at the moment. Here we go. So there's a massive fair value gap, 4 hour fair value gap just below it as well. Here's your equilibrium level. So price accumulating, it has already broken this level before, and just to watch to see how it actually breaks out of this area, this zone. If it starts breaking and then retraces, then you obviously know to catch a little bit of it down. If it claims, even if it does a sharp movement and you can actually see and it leaves a bit of a wick, then it's an indication that price is ready to move up. But obviously just wait for that price to break. The opposing level is quite strong. Usually, like if the levels are quite close to each other here, if you can find a break that crosses both of them in one move, it's usually a good indication. Like something like that, for instance, if it had to from above break down and then retrace, that would be a good indication looking for manipulation. But you would have to obviously have a high RSI and bearish indications. Cool. So I just want to see if the card is there. The card is here. Resistance to monthly. I want to see if there's anything else I've left out. Um, it has bounced off the weekly narrow. Monthly resistance, yeah. Those are basically those. That's how I'll watch this one. I am watching it as well. Oh, this one. Interesting. Okay. See, I picked this one up. Just want to see. Yeah, this one didn't have any previous time frame. Dude, let's just have a look to see if I can find what it's currently saying. And then we'll have a look for some new ones as well. Just take that. Okay, 63 obviously has reduced quite a bit, showing bullish divergence and confusion on the daily, of course, with this whole long big wick here. Proximity no levels. Yeah, so this one's because it's actually broken away completely from all its well, it's an all-time high, so it's not showing any levels. Support monthly R3 is below it, of course. So yeah, this one's got very little information to go on. But what I did, sorry, I just want to bring that card back closer. So what I did is I marked out because it broke quite strong and then it broke to the downside as well. If you can have a look, that's a strong break, of course, to the downside. There you got your swing point. And then I marked out a 15-minute fair value gap. And with the fair value gap, of course, on the 1 hour, this is the highest time frame opposing candle levels at the moment that we had because there's no previous history. So I marked out 1 hour opposing candle levels over here. And this was, of course, going to be my indication of watching within the if it still breaks and price closes above the fair value gap, of course, that would have invalidated the trade to the downside. it actually swept right to the top of the fair value gap. If you have a look there, that's in the 15 minutes. So it actually tapped and swept right on top there, and then closed just below that R3 level over here. And then it's been accumulating a little bit as well. So in between these two opposing candle levels at the moment, under the invalidation mark, I'm actually marked it out to see if price is going to break below this point here. So this would have been my indication using opposing levels for a CISD level. On a 5 minute actually would be what I'll do it, but you can see how price is accumulating here. So thoughts would be on this, of course, for it to well, in accumulation, of course, it's busy getting a lot of retail entries. So you're getting a lot of like stop losses, and TPs and those kind of things, limit orders, all playing around this price at the moment. And then what it does is it kind of triggers and catches everything, and then it'll do a spike or a spike, one of the two. So if you can watch how price breaks these two barriers here, it will give a good indication. I am looking personally for price to break fast and then show another entry for manipulation to the downside. That's what I'm personally mark this one out for. If it does, I've got limit order set. But of course, you would need to be very sure on how the price breaks out of this and what it looks like at the time it does break. So you never know, because it's actually been going for quite a bit now. So you never know how long it's going to take and if it's just going to keep doing it. Oh man, sorry. I'm looking for my little card. My card keeps disappearing. Different time frames. So yeah, bullish still shows 1 hour divergence, RSI 63. This coin has moved quite a bit, 79%. But as on the daily, it's showing bullish, but it has retraced quite a bit now. So it's showing bullish. And it's setting traps at the moment, yeah. So just to watch how price breaks out of this and actually does move. I mean, if you look at how manipulated this is, it's very, very manipulated. It's a very, very big wick. Cool. Moving on. Then the last one I actually pulled out quite a while back was this RFC. Let's just get an updated. Let me just see if I can refresh this quickly. It's only on the one. I'll refresh both. So RFC is closer to a fair value gap. It's the daily fair value gap. Let's have a look. Actually did a little bit of marking on this one. All right, let's have a look. So what I actually, I remember now. Okay, I remember what I did. So this is a thing if you're going through so many different charts, it's very easy to forget. You want to try and keep them as limited to like one or two as possible. Of course, I mean, that really depends on you. For me personally, otherwise, start forgetting. So it's minus 57% in 24 hours, which is quite a massive drop, as you can see there. The barrel rolled off the hill. And so it's wide. RSI 18 is pretty low. Previous week low. Okay, so obviously it's below the previous week low, daily fair value gap. So it's in a weekly fair value gap actually at the moment. And it's almost at that 50% here of the weekly fair value gap. So I went and did the higher time frame and tried to pull out those areas, key level areas. It's in high and low weekly bias as well. So it was in a bit of a confusion because it dropped there. And I started doing the same thing as I showed earlier now. I started setting those opposing candle levels with inside of this actual fair value gap. And these, again, you start to use as your, watch how price responds in between those different levels. So there you got your 1 hour there. That's relatively the same. You've got your 1 hour here. So there's no other opposing levels that are very strong within these areas, within this area. So these to me were very good indications of, if you had to watch to see what price does. Of course, 50% of your fair value gap is generally where you are for prices wanting to at least reach and then see if it responds. Does it use this fair value gap as a support, or does it break through, then turn support into resistance and then break to the downside? So this indication here will help you to see if it's going to be resisted or break and use support. And then, of course, opposite would be this would be indication break to the upside, resistance turn to support, and then of course you would have your CISD level or break to the upside. So I marked them out again, like I said, inside of the actual areas of interest or the key levels, and I use. Although of course this SMC does deter you to actually waiting for the CISD to form on the higher time frame or the low time frame from the higher time frame signature. I prefer to use these as more of a sniper entry as a personal. And sometimes, you can use this as an indication to, watch that price is moving in a certain direction. And once it does that, you can always wait for that higher time frame signature, and that will give you the confirmation of the move. That's a much safer way to do it. Okay, let's have a look to see what else is available. We can give Rex a go as well. The RSI seems to be quite high. It's 59. It was actually a bit higher earlier. Bias low. Rex fair value gap. It's not really offering too much. Have a look here. No, it's not too much. Continuation weekly. Let's have a look on the swings. Near key levels. Useless. FPG Cook. This one has no divergence indication, so that's 29, still not. So there's a 4 hour weekly. No, 15. No, sorry, I'm just actually scanning the cards just to show if there's anything that I'd generally be interested. Arrow 64 showing bearish. Siren. So you've got just swing up, but it's bearish. 11%. Let's have a look rather at, here we go. Syrup. See what this one looks like for us. Oh wow, what happened here? Because that's monstrous. I don't know if there was any news on this or anyone knows. Wow, that is ridiculous. Yeah, okay. So it's definitely not recommended. It's like hit rock bottom there. But it's good to take this one away because that one's a bit crazy. I don't know if there's any ones of interest that you guys have seen from what you've been watching. can pick this one up. Okay, some cheese. You guys have anything that you're looking at?
I was trading jelly earlier, but
There's a
not
favorite.
since I come on to. Oh, that's good. 1,000 cheese.
Also nice. It looks of interest. Yeah. Let's have a look at
Looks
jelly.
interesting. I was looking at it this morning, but I haven't.
There's a lot more short present. Obviously, looking at reversals, not continuations, but definitely a lot more short presenting. So you were looking at this jelly. Let's just have a look to see if we can find jelly in.
Yeah, I was looking at it much earlier before it stopped. Did its big drop. Then I went out. So I think it's
Okay.
done its reversal trick.
Yeah, yeah. Wait, no, wait. This is today.
I scalp on 2 minute time frame.
I see.
So, yeah,
That did quite a drop, yeah, and there's massive fair value gaps. Big signatures. Yeah, jelly's a nice one. It moves nicely. I enjoy trading on jelly.
jelly's great. It goes up and down
Yeah, there's lots of movement.
all the time.
Yeah, in fact, I mean, most of the time you actually just need a token that moves a lot, and if you
Yeah.
can, yeah, if you can use the resistance support and SMC, you've got it. And just keep making money off the same one. Um, okay, I'm gonna remove that one. Let's have a look at this
What
Teams.
about Soon? I think Soon is on. That was another great one for trading.
Yeah, let's have a look at it. You got it in a swing formation, but it's in continuation actually. So it's picked up a swing, but it's actually swept high. So let's have a look, see if it's coming into play soon. Yeah, so it's sweep. This is a
I think it's
resweep,
one
is it?
to watch for a reversal later on.
Yeah, so you got your daily. So it's broken your monthly R2 and 3, and your weekly R2 and 3. It's actually hovering around weekly 2 R3 and previous day high. So you got a bias reversal on the 1 hour, which is generally where it all starts. But it's actually now still, let's have a look to see. Yeah, so your R3, your daily R3 level is quite high here. Let me just see if there's anything, nothing before this, eh? No.
Natalie,
So
how do you get this information put onto the chart?
this,
Yes.
yeah, so I'll scroll over and I'll just screenshot and then I will just grab it and then I copy paste.
Ah, great. Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I have actually put a card in there for the dev to put a just like a click or right click or something and then paste as well. Just
Great. Fantastic.
like you got that little button there and you can click and then put it in. So it can be done. It's very simple. Yeah, it's just become a thing now. It works very, very well for me as well. Of course,
Yeah.
when you're going through numerous tokens, you can remember. It helps to remember just like what you were looking at. Um, so 73 reversal on the 1 hour, not showing divergence. We can actually have a look to see if what it says for soon on divergence. So it's starting to present that there's an indication, not just yet on the 1 hour, 1 day. So I'd still think it wants to move a little bit more. And it's probably where that's why you got your resistance, your daily resistance level so high. So right now it's in accumulation. Let's have a look here. So you don't have much to go on, of course. Right now, look at that accumulation in 5 minutes. It's a lot of accumulation there. So it's waiting to do something. Even give it a bit of a fake breakout there. 3 drive, 2, 3 drives. So it's all just reacting and responding at the moment to this weekly R3 level currently. It's had quite a long grab below. So it's claimed a lot of like liquidity that from the expansion as well. So of course it's kind of built up its power, if you will, its force in order, to give it a little bit more fuel to rise. So I would keep on the only thing about these, for instance, you don't have too much to go on. Of course, you have your 1 hour level there, which it's already kind of tapping into. Um, and then let's see which is the respected. Let me see if I can get a 4 hour in. No. That's quite a big distance though. So it's broke. This one broke to the upside. Break of structure. And this is break. But we'll see if the price actually see that it's responding off. It's resisting at the moment. But we want to see if it's going to go to the upside to break this, use it as a support. So break resistance support, and then obviously move to the upside. But you also don't know how much it's going to increase as well. So generally, when you're watching the price increase, you can actually watch that RSI level. Just if it starts to hit like 85, somewhere in the 1 hour RSI, if you're in a long, it's usually a good position to try and see if there's an opposing level somewhere just to exit. Anything further than that, you're really tempting it. Okay, SPX we can have a look at as well. So soon. Yeah. Did you get this from, sorry, we're 4 hours swinging for long. Okay. It's not in here. Let me have a look. 4 hour swing. I'm Bybit. Yeah, I'm on Bybit now. SPX. No, I don't get it though. Are you currently seeing that one at the moment? I have many more swing detected, really. That's interesting. Have you got 42 coins? Yeah, I think definitely refresh. See, I do like this refresh thing and it does refresh, but I like to do this hard refresh, So tech things, especially in browsers, they get stuck. And if you're really looking for some accurate information, the last thing you want is to be taking the wrong information as well. So uh do you only trade shorts? No, I do longs. I just end up finding a lot more shorts, to be honest. It just seemed to be there's more up there than there was is down here. I think like a few weeks ago, we had all the tokens that were bundling up in the corner here before. And yeah, those were obviously the same situation, to look. It behaves exactly the same. same way, you know. Um, but it usually ends up after some massive move's been happening, and they usually happen to the upside. Okay, SPX. Did you find? Yeah, look, I must say I do catch myself doing shorts as well, but I can't like actually admit maybe that I like the shorts as well. I think it's just such a common thing, and I watched Seth do it over and over and over as I've been doing the training, so it might just be, you know. But yeah, I don't mind getting a nice long as well. It's really really satisfying. Okay, so I don't pick up SPX. Um, so but I can have a look anyway. Okay, I can see. Let's see. Yeah. So this one's a difficult one to pick up RSI, of course. We do have a daily fair value gap. Let me just have a look at a weekly. Maybe there's something lying there. New. So you got a weekly below and a daily. I think we've got, yeah. And then you've got your daily opposing levels. So let's just have a look to see in relation to where price is now. So you've got your order. You've actually got a daily order block that it's filling. Just mark. Okay, there we go. So it's tapped. It's like pretty much if you have a look at that daily, let me just at your daily opposing level now. Daily opposing levels in 50% of the daily order block as well. So, and price has actually broken that and has tapped into it and now is retraced above. So price is actually in that spot at the moment. So that's a very interesting point to observe. You've got your small fair value gap here. Price has tapped into it already, so you can't really consider it too much, in my opinion. So my next objectives would be to see, of course, RSI. See, this is where RSI levels help to understand exactly. Here's your daily. I've actually, I mean, as you guys can see, I mean, I've just kept mine completely opposing candle levels, the bias fair value gaps, uh, and the EAX data. Okay, I've refreshed to the actual page now and it's not there anymore. Yeah, it does happen, of course. And then yeah, it gets replaced by another token, obviously, that's moved for or it's got more confluence or something. So here we go. So if you have a look, for instance, we can actually look at the TDIX. So the daily TDIX, it's actually quite 4 hour. So it's on 56 on the 4 hour, 65 on the daily, 55 on the weekly. Okay, so, and then on the 1 hour, it's 41. So it's actually under a daily narrow pivot at the moment. But if you have a look here, you've got these two daily opposing candle levels. You've got resistance 3 just by the daily opposing level as well. You've got your monthly resistance 2 just underneath that too. And it's bounced off the weekly pivot on the low. So this one looks pretty good for potential long. And I'm assuming that's what you were going for there. I'm not quite sure. So let me just take this TX off. Ah, there we go. Yeah, it looks, I could see that mark over there. That was a really, really nice, how can I say, area of interest. So you've got your 4 hour candle formation over here. It has done a massive sweep with um, a nice wick and a failure to displace. Obviously, candle three now is what you need to observe and watch in this respect. And then obviously, if you can get a break with the CIST to the upside, yeah, you see how it's responded on the daily level. You see that you're not your daily opposing candle level. So it actually tapped into there, broke down, tapped into there, broke down. So it's bouncing off. It's using this opposing 4 hour well, daily opposing level as resistance at the moment. So if anything, this would be a good indication to see if price is going to actually reverse up because this is a very respected level. So I would continue just to see, in this, yeah, look, it broke to the downside, tap now. Looks like it's falling down to the downside in the high time frame to collect. So your RSI levels are quite low, but obviously just seemingly like it's hitting its resistance ceiling at the moment. And look, you've got a lot of expansion here. And the fair value gap still to be claimed. I mean, I think it has been claimed actually, yeah. I know this is actually new fair value gap. Okay. Yeah, so I would do the same thing here, for instance. I would just get as many of my levels. Um, so if you take the 4 hour, for instance, here, here's the fair value gap, it actually comes up. That's a weekly fair value gap. You take your 4 hour levels. That's actually a 4 hour level right now. 4 hour. Just trying to see, so into your fair value gap here. Break up. That can be a 4 hour. Upside, and this will be your underside, but it's pretty much the same level. So I'll actually just wait to see what price does in response. So you got your daily R3 level is over here. And so let me just get the zoom out here and then I can see. So all your support levels are really, really far down below. So this is actually potentially turning resistance into support here. So you can see the pivots there, it's bounced off the pivots. So I would, for instance, to see price break this level, or if it was going to be, if it was first of all, a retracement, I think you're looking to see how it responds up until that level, or otherwise a break to the upside. Would it be an indication of how strong that break could be by that opposing level? And then as you get closer to it, have a look at your 1 hour time frames. And again, this is in a narrow, very, very narrow. And here's your daily R3. So expectation to break that R3 level as well, especially on a super narrow. I've seen it happen quite often. The price does usually travel to these R3 positions. And then, yeah, it's got a lot of liquidity above here to claim. So it would be a bit of a retracement and then looking for that entry to the upside. That's what I would be looking for personally, but over these specific levels. And let's have a look to see exactly what levels we can mark out with the 1 hour, just to have some fun. So you've got a 1 hour over there. That's a cool level right by that R3 as well, just to see how price responds over this. And it's to see, this will be a good area of interest to see what it does and if you can get that manipulation move over the central point. It'll also be in the center of the weekly pivots as well. So yeah, I would look at what price does in this area over here. And if it breaks strong to the downside, obviously it still has more to travel. But if it rejects, then I'd wait to see one of these 4 hour opposing levels to be broken to the upside. But it's got quite a lot of liquidity level above it as well. Yeah, there's a good 15% in there potentially. Cool. And I just wanted to do this one. Missed it. I actually pulled this one out just now. I think it was just tapping in there. Yeah, look, card tapped off that mark there. Gosh. See, I mean, the cool thing about it is that you can, with the EAX, you can pick these things up, and it's like some of them are very near ready to enter. If you just pick, like, have a look to see what they're doing, obviously, on the charting themselves. So weekly fair value gaps, 23%. Yeah, it's narrow pivots. Interesting. Could be 86 RSI, of course. That was nearing, obviously did sweep and then retraced. RSI is high enough. See that 85 for me, somewhere between 85 and 90 is usually good in, like, I like to see the 1 hour in that space. And if it is at any of these levels just around there, I look like very intently. I mark out all those opposing levels and just see if I can catch an entry. But yeah, this one has definitely moved on. Um, Anyhow, guys, I gotta shoot. I can hear my kids have come back from grandparents. I haven't seen them for like 10 days. But yeah, so I hope this was helpful. Hope you guys got some use out of it. And yeah, I hope you can catch maybe one or two of these that were still information. Not quite sure which is soon is definitely one that you can catch, I would look for. Mubarak, this one as well, just to see exactly.
Mubarak has already had a huge move down.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's broken that 4 hour. I see that. Broke the 4 hour. That was my marker. Yeah, no, it made its move already. Yeah, you got to catch these things quickly, eh? Um,
That's why I trade on the 2 minute time frame.
yeah, look, if you can find, you come to the EAX and you find it like in these high positions over there and you get like more information. So it helps you just to get that base, like, bit of information. And then, yeah, you can catch it, as obviously it enters into these like really, really awesome spaces over here. But okay, awesome, guys. All right, no, all good. Nice.
Thank
Thanks for
you so
joining me today.
much.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. And I'll catch up with you guys soon. Cool. Have a fantastic day. Huh?
Thank you.
Okay.